All right, we're going to load up some resistance here. We're going to grip the resistance band. I'm using a 90 pounder here, but I started off with 30, just to give you an idea of how quickly you can progress up the scale here in terms of weight. But what we're looking for is tension. We're trying to create tension in our body, and we're trying to replicate the very start of the downswing. After the change of direction at the top of the backswing, you're starting to drive your hips. Watch my hips here turning toward the target while I keep my shoulders, the plane of my shoulder turn, still face back toward the wall. So it's that moment where the hips start to move, but the shoulders are still relatively stationary. Maybe the hands are just barely starting to drop down. And you want to hold that position. You can really hold it for up to a minute or even longer. Isometrics have been proven to work for multiple minutes. But I think what you want to start with is maybe about 10 or 15 seconds in this position right here. And again, you are feeling tension in your core, coming up from that left hip, that left leg, which is starting to turn toward the target of your shot. And you want to feel that tension both up through your core, and also you're gonna feel something obviously in your left arm, your left shoulder, but we want to focus mostly on the core there. So when you feel that tension in your core as you're driving toward the target, you can also feel it in your trail buttock, your trail gluteus maximus, which biggest muscle in the body, right? And it can be used to great effect in the golf swing. But if you're driving with that right side, if you're a right-handed golfer, and that left hip is starting to just get out of the way, it's starting to clear, to use golf terminology. But right here is where I start to feel the tension. You hold that for as long as you can. You want to continue to push and progress. Any good exercise program progresses you. But that's the feeling you want to have. And then once you're done with that, then I want you to move on to impact position, or a close facsimile thereof. You're going to drive downward. You see this left leg is straightening, the right leg is really driving, and you want to hold this for as long as you can, like I said, representing the positions in the downswing in which you're trying to create tension and ultimately release that tension. So what these resistance bands helps you feel is what's called the X factor stretch. Now, you may have heard about the X factor period. If you were like me, you came up in the game of golf in the late 90s, or you were playing golf around then. X factor meant literally the difference in angle between your shoulder turn and your hip turn. And this was measured at the top of the backswing that we were trying to imitate with the isometric. This moment right here, where the hips start but the shoulders are still staying back. So it's not necessarily that you're limiting your hip turn. You can turn the hips as much as you want. I think the more hip turn, the better. But as long as you start down with the hips first, leaving your shoulders to create that X factor stretch, that's what you feel that stretch. So I think it's a very good descriptor of what we're trying to find here. But the X factor stretch is one of the leading determinants in the golf swing of how far you can hit the ball and how fast you can swing the club. More pertinently to what we're talking about, because club head speed is the biggest ingredient by far in carry distance. So X factor stretch is what we're trying to feel here. In addition to working with the lighter implements, the alignment rod or the club without a head in my case, that tends to work too. That's what we're using to feel that swoosh at the bottom of the swing, delivering the club and making sure that you're maximizing your power right at the moment of impact. X factor stretch gives you an idea of what it's supposed to feel like at the top of the backswing, and as you start down, you want to feel that stretch between your hips and your shoulders, which of course you're going to have all these core muscles activate. I do these isometrics, I do some other similar resistance band and pulley activities in the gym. I don't do sit-ups or traditional ab exercises because this is more than enough to tax the core and to make it stronger, especially stronger specifically for what we're trying to get it stronger for, which is to swing the golf club faster. All right, that's Fitness Friday this time around. Let me know what you think about these drills, these moves. I find them very effective. You can use them as a warm-up before you go out and play or practice, or you can just use them before a swing speed session, which I often do, or just add it to your usual gym workout. There's a lot of options there. And like I said, pretty simple equipment when it comes down to it. A resistance band, which you can find anywhere, and an alignment rod, and basically anything that's significantly lighter than your driver. You can use that for those front side swing simulations, if you will. Thanks again for watching. Back for more next time on Fitness Friday at Geico Golf Performance.